welcome back to Trees and Turtles. My name is Imogen. In today's video, I am talking about taking a break from university to work in industry and the reasons behind my decision. So I recently graduated from Durham with a bachelor's degree in geography, and a lot of my friends were going straight into postgrad education, straight into master's degrees, or on like integrated master's programs. However, I decided to take a break before I did my master's degree, and I do still want to get a postgrad during my 20s, but I decided to take a break between my bachelor's and my master's to actually work in industry, to develop my career and to get some practical experience in my field. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about the kind of reasons behind that and why I didn't go straight into a master's. So if you're interested in that, stick around, make sure you're subscribed, give this video a thumbs up, follow me on Instagram. Let's get started. So it is very common to do 2 degrees back to back. Or at least in the circles that I was in, it was very common to do 2 degrees back to back, and you'd go straight from A-levels to doing a bachelor's to doing a master's, and then you'd go into a career. And I did consider this, and I did think about it a lot, but in the end, I ended up going into a career after finishing my bachelor's, and I'm going to do a master's later on. And the first reason I did that was that I was burned out from my first degree. So there are some people who are more resilient than I am, who don't burn out to the same extent that I did. And I think that was just, I don't know if it's a personality thing or if it's luck or if I just have to work really hard because I'm not that bright. But yeah, I was really burned out from my bachelor's, and that burnout was something that was kind of affecting me psychologically, and I really wanted to give my best academically and emotionally and just personally to a postgraduate degree. So I was like super burned out from my first degree, and I was like, if I go straight into a master's, it's not going to give me my best. I'm not going to give it my best. And so I really wanted to do it justice. So that was the first reason. The second reason was that I wanted to get industry experience and start making a difference. So obviously learning is great, and I am a massive nerd and I love learning, but there is something about being in industry and working on practical projects that are making a real world difference every day that is incredibly appealing. So my specific career choice that I'm pursuing is in the environmental sector. So working on that is a very fulfilling it's a very fulfilling thing, and I really wanted to get that kind of practical experience and start working on projects that like tangibly benefited the field in a way that I felt was, yeah, just tangible. So yeah, I wanted to get industry experience and start making a difference like every day. On that point, some master's programs actively seek industry experience. So this is something I didn't know before I started researching master's programs, but once I started reading about them and reading the entry requirements, now this is by no means a requirement for like a lot of programs, but it is a requirement for some programs, or it's preferred, right? So several of the programs that I was looking at, they had this little note in the entry requirements section or like additional requirements section saying, you know, you don't have to have this, but we prefer it. If you have industry experience, or we're targeting this program at people who've been in industry for a while and they want to develop their career further with an additional academic skill set. And so they're looking for people who had industry or career experience in the field practically first. So those programs obviously that I was interested in, I thought, okay, well, I don't necessarily need to have this experience to apply, but if it's targeted at that kind of person, then it would be beneficial for me to get some industry experience before starting a master's. The next reason that I took a break between my bachelor's and my master's is that I love working and I have more time than when I'm studying. When I often felt during my bachelor's that my time was kind of a, how do I put this? There weren't really any proper boundaries, and this was my fault, but I think the thing with the degree is that you can always do more. But the thing with the job is, yeah, technically you can always do more, but there is a sort of a cut-off time. If you work like a regular career, sort of 9 to 5 type of job, there's always a cut-off time. You can't, and you're like, time outside of that is your own. But whereas when I was at university, I was like working till like 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock later and stuff, and I was like working outside of normal 9 to 5 hours because I was like, oh, this could be better, or you know, my lab report could be better, or you know, if I don't do this extra bit of work, then maybe I'll get a lower grade than I expected. So there was always that anxiety around, oh, it could be better if I just put more time in, and it felt kind of addictive in a way that working doesn't. So I don't know if that's just me having poor boundaries around my time, but I felt that when I was at university and when I was studying, it was kind of an infinite treadmill, if that makes sense. But once you get into a job, your boundaries are very, like, clearly delineated, and it's a lot easier to just switch off and to have that work-life balance. Another reason is obviously, and some of you may be surprised that I haven't put this further up, these things are in no particular order. Money. So building my financial security and saving for a master's. I recently, well, I say recently, in the last few years, I have become financially independent, and it's great. And I do want to make sure that I kind of build on that and make sure that, like, my savings are built up, and then financially that I'm in a good place to pursue a master's program. Because obviously, yes, you can get a postgraduate loan, but nevertheless, there are going to be additional costs that I have to pay in order to do a master's, and also making sure that, you know, I'm in a good place from, like, a budget point of view. So yeah, I just think it's a financially responsible thing to do, to take a bit of a break and make sure that kind of like I'm in a good place. And also, you know what? Working is really good because, yeah, you're learning, especially when you're in the training period, but you're getting paid for it. And when I was at university, I was paying to learn. So getting paid to learn almost is, or getting paid to get better at my career is kind of really fun, and like having my own money is really fun. And yeah, just that sense of, oh, you know, I can earn and I can save and all of this stuff is, yeah, I mean, I know a lot of people kind of romanticize the student life in terms of having few responsibilities, but I feel like I just put a lot of responsibilities on myself when I was a student. Again, my fault, but hey, it did help me to kind of get into a career. And I have more financial freedom now. So money is a really big reason that I just wanted a break from academia, because it is difficult being a student. Like, obviously I was very lucky to have family support, and I did get a student loan as well. So like, I was able to focus on my degree, but that feeling of, you know, I want to be able to support myself and I want to build that financial independence, it has been a really big reason for me to sort of dive into a career and just build up that sense of security for myself before I take on another academic challenge. I don't know, it's just a personal thing. Let me know in the comments what you think about this, but to me this is a really important factor. And finally, I kind of mentioned this at the start of the video, so I wanted this to be like a full circle moment almost. Doing the master's degree justice because I'll have more money and will approach it from a mentally refreshed place after a break. This is the main reason, literally. I mean, okay, burnout was the main reason, but like I said before, I love to learn and I'm a massive nerd, and one of the things that stressed me out the most during my bachelor's was the thought that if I didn't work hard enough, I wouldn't do it justice and I wouldn't, you know, fulfill my potential. And I really, absolutely, I gave that degree everything I had. Like, I put, like, my heart and soul into it, and I gave it absolutely everything that I'd got. And I want to be able to do the same for my master's, and I also want to approach it from a place that's mentally refreshed, a place of stability, personal and financial, and just really have a good sort of approach to it and be able to do it justice, because I feel like the opportunity to pursue postgrad education is one of immense privilege, and it's one that I absolutely don't take for granted. So I want to make sure that I'm in a good place before I do that, because if I did a postgrad and I didn't do it justice according to my own standards, I would be so disappointed in myself. I really would. And I think that, yeah, just taking that break has allowed me to like get some experience, build up my own personal stability, have a break, recover from burnout, and then approach a postgrad with a kind of a refreshed mind. So I wanted to make this video because I know a lot of people go straight into a postgrad after university, and it can feel a little bit like if you don't, then there's something wrong with your career progression, or there's something wrong with, you know, your academic capabilities, or you're not as smart or you're not as strong as your peers. And I kind of just wanted to dispel this myth. It's absolutely not true, okay? If you take a break, there can be absolutely a bunch of like valid reasons to take a break. And also, if you go straight into a master's, then good for you. I love that. That's fantastic. Basically, I'm saying do whatever works for you, but there's no shame in taking a break. And sometimes it can actually be good for you in terms of gaining personal stability, gaining experience, recovering from burnout. And generally, if you know that this is good for you and this is the right decision for you, then that is absolutely your choice, and you should make that decision with peace of mind, because it isn't like, it doesn't make you, you know, slow at building your career, and it doesn't make you like inadequate or incompetent or less capable or less clever or any of that, okay? So if you are in a bachelor's program right now and you're thinking that you might want to go straight into a master's, but it feels like really daunting and you want to take some time out, then let me be that person to say it's absolutely fine to take time out. Nothing bad is going to happen. The world is not going to like come crashing down on your head, okay? And your career progression, I guarantee you, will be absolutely fine. Like, it will be absolutely fine. So let me reassure you of that. It is completely fine, and in some cases preferred by postgraduate programs to take a break, get some experience, and develop yourself as a person a little bit before jumping into a master's program. Either path is fine. Alright, that's all for this video. If you're not already subscribed, make sure to do that, give this video a thumbs up, follow me on Instagram. I'll see you next time. Okay, bye!